Hello, and thank you for your interest in Listing Mirror. So today I'm going to go over how to set up your integration settings in your account. Before we get started, I just want to let you know this is a demonstration account, so some information in here might look a little different to what you may see. So I will be sure to go over those as we go through. So as you know, we are an Amazon first platform. Our platform is built around Amazon first sellers. So as we're going through, I will tailor my information based around that, including starting with the Amazon integration settings page. So to get started, you can find your settings here at the integration tab on the menu bar. So you just click on that and then go to manage integrations. From here, you can see all of the integrations that you have added so far. So, like I said, we're an Amazon first platform, so I'm going to find our Amazon integration here and start with that. So here it is down at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and open that up. So to start off, you'll see something similar to this in your account. You'll see merchant fulfilled enabled, and then you might have some other ones on the side here. So just to get started with that, so how we manage your inventory is completely based on what warehouses you have enabled. So as it stands right now, if you had quantity in all of the four warehouses here, we would only send your MF warehouse to Amazon. Now, let's say you wanted to use another warehouse, or even FBA. You would just simply move those over and we would use that inventory. And we would use it in order. So let's say you have these three enabled. If you were to use, let's say it's sold out in the first two, it would default to the last one. So what we do is we check, every time someone places an order, we check, do you have any merchant fulfilled? If not, we'll check, do you have any dropship? If not, we'll check, do you have any FBA? If not, then we'll just tell the marketplace that the listing is out of stock. So you want to order these in matter of importance to you. If you want one warehouse to sell it before the other, make sure those are ordered like that. And this is a universal setting across all of your integration settings, so I will only explain it for this first time. Moving on down to general here. We'll start with the Amazon specific settings, so allow small and light to MCF. If you have any small and light items in your FBA inventory, you'll just want to simply activate this. That'll allow you to MCF small and light items, otherwise we won't display quantity for them. And then your lead time. Your lead time is just how fast you will be shipping the item. You typically need some kind of exception on Amazon to do this, so it's best to just leave it as the default. Now, moving on to these other two settings here, email notifications and auto split fulfillment. Email notifications is pretty self-explanatory, so we'll leave that one. But auto split fulfillment, this allows you to split your orders. If we go up to back up to your settings here, essentially you might have stock. You might have one item in two locations, and if one person buys two items, you'll have two orders, or you'll have one order for two different fulfillment centers. So AutoSplit detects that automatically and will split your orders into two different orders, allowing you to add multiple tracking numbers and fill them at different times rather than having to figure out how to display that information. So something to think about if you frequently run into that setting. Otherwise, pretty safe to just skip over that one unless you have multiple warehouses that you use pretty frequently. We're gonna skip Amazon MCF for now. We'll get into that in another integration. So inventory is pretty self-explanatory here. Update quantity. If you want us to update your quantity or not, you would enable or disable this. Max quantity, that means we'll tell them whatever number you put in here is what we'll tell the marketplace that you have, assuming you have that much. So let's say you have 100 items, but you want the marketplace to say that you only have 3 at all times. Then you would just put a 3 into this, and we will always tell the marketplace you have 3 until you fall below that number. Holdback quantity does a little bit of the same, but instead of telling the marketplace you have a certain number. We'll tell the marketplace you have that many, how many you have on hand minus this number. So if you frequently sell out of something, or there's something that you need to, of course, hold back for any number of reasons, you would just put a number in there, such as 3. So if you had 100 quantity and you put 3 in here, we would tell the marketplace that you have 97. And then you would always have that extra 3 on hand. Duplicate FBM strategy. This setting allows you to dictate what you want to do if you have multiple FBM listings under one ASIN. You have the option to ignore the quantity. That means that we will only manage the quantity for the primary item, and then the other item that is not the primary you would manage outside of Reflector. Sync 0 to duplicates means that any non-primary FBM SKU we will just send to we'll send 0 to that, so you don't have two listings with the same quantity going on. And then copy to duplicates does the opposite of that. If you have multiple FBM listings, this will just copy the quantity between all of them. It'll copy from the primary to the duplicates. Moving on to listings here, variations enabled. This setting allows you to create variations when you're creating listings. If you disable this and you create a variation, then we will just will make sure they're all simple listings. This setting here, these two settings automatically import new listings and automatically import new FBA listings. These are admin settings, so you will not have access to those. Deletes go to market. Deletes go to market is essentially when you delete a listing from Reflector, we will either delete it from the marketplace as well, or we will keep it on the marketplace. So if you wanted to delete something from Reflector but not the marketplace, you would want to leave that unchecked. So the next and final one here in Amazon is price. Now, as I said, Amazon is the platform that we built, or is the marketplace that we built our platform around. So you'll have some unique settings here. Use external price means that if you use some other system to update your prices, such as Amazon or maybe some kind of API or some kind of feed system, then you would want to turn on use external price. And that ties into these settings below. How do you want to control prices? If you select import price from Amazon for this channel only, or import price from Amazon and update the product, that it essentially does what it says. Anytime you change the price on Amazon's website, we will automatically, we'll notice that, and then we will update the prices within Reflector for you. And any other marketplace that has use external price enabled will automatically be enabled as well. So this is effectively your repricing tool. If you want to use Amazon to dictate your prices on other platforms, essentially what you do is you turn on use external price for all platforms, and then you turn on import price from Amazon and update the product. And what that will do is, essentially whenever you update prices on Amazon, we'll update the prices on whatever other marketplaces you have this setting enabled, use external price. Now, if you just want to manage all of your prices yourself within Reflector, you would just turn on this last setting here, manage price in listing mirror. And then the very final setting here, which price do you want us to import? Always use price or use sales price when available. That just means, if you want us to use your displayed sales price, on Amazon how it says, was $9.99 but is now $5.99. If you do use sales price, we'll import $5.99. If you always use price, we will import $9.99. So that's all for Amazon. We can move on to the other marketplaces we have. So we'll go ahead and just jump out of here and head to eBay next, because we do have a lot of Amazon to eBay sellers, so we'll do eBay, and we're going to skip over ones that we have already discussed. So moving on to, we're going to jump into Amazon MCF here. So what a lot of people do is they want to use their FBA inventory on other marketplaces. That is a primary function of our platform. So in this tab, you'll have 3 settings here. Autofill MCF orders. That means if someone places an order on a non-Amazon marketplace for an FBA item, what we'll do is we'll automatically send that item to Amazon for fulfillment. Now, if this is disabled, we'll still send it to Amazon, but you'll need to manually approve the the sending of that. These two settings here block Amazon logistics. This means that we will just send the marketplace a generic tracking number rather than an Amazon tracking number. And a similar setting here with the blank box inventory. Instead of sending an Amazon branded box, we will just send a blank box instead. So that's what those three settings do. Now, these are all eBay exclusive settings. They should be pretty self-explanatory, but if you cannot fulfill to PO boxes, Alaska, Hawaii, US protectorates, or APOs or FPOs, that's what all of these settings do. Very handy if you use FBA, because Amazon can't always fill orders to Alaska or places like Puerto Rico. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. Depends if you want to take the risk on that. And then the final setting we need to go through here, actually we'll do some of these too, but the final one, this is the most important for eBay, business policies. These are crucial to selling on eBay. You want to make sure you have a default business policy set here. As you can see, I have some filled out, but these are important. And if you want to update all of your listings, you can go ahead and check these boxes here on the side. And the final setting I want to talk about here is end and relist to resolve errors. Now this will automatically end and relist any eBay listings that you have if an error occurs, such as, you can't update the price or something like that. Very good for just keeping your account clean, but keep in mind ending and relisting a listing does remove the sales history, so it will no longer say, 1 sold, 2 sold, things like that. So that's pretty much all we have here for eBay. So we'll go ahead and move on to Walmart. That is our next biggest platform here. Walmart pretty much has very similar settings, but we'll talk about the ones that are unique. Keep in mind for the Amazon MCF, these are required settings. If you would do autofill MCF orders, these are required to be enabled. If not, your Walmart account could be terminated or warned just because they do not allow you to sell FBA items on Walmart unless you can avoid violating their terms. Essentially, they don't want their customers to know that orders are being filled with Amazon. So make sure you just enable those. The 3 bonus settings down here, so update listing details, that just means that if this is enabled, we'll control your listing details such as title, description, all that good stuff. And same thing with update price here. If this is enabled, that just means that we will update your price whenever you do update that. Final setting here, match existing Walmart SKU. So Walmart doesn't actually allow you to delete listings. Essentially what happens is they just get retired. So if you list something under a different SKU and then you want to list it under a new SKU, what this will do is it'll automatically match the Walmart SKU on Walmart's website to whatever you're trying to change it to. So very helpful. Do recommend enabling this for all users just to avoid any potential errors that might pop up. Walmart's very strict with their SKU and barcode combination, so always good to have that enabled. 2 more. We're going to go over 2 more marketplaces. We'll go over the next most popular, Shopify. Shopify has some unique settings they're just kind of unique to Shopify, but they're pretty self-explanatory. So use customer notes as gift messages. So if you hover over the text bubble here, you can see that whenever someone leaves like a gift message or something, we'll just add that to your notes on the order page. Same thing with notify customers of shipping here. Hover over the info box. It just means that we will send an email to the customer when their order ships. It's helpful if you don't have any other system doing this, but if you have another system who gives them tracking information, then you can just leave that disabled. These are your shipping priorities. If you have them named something differently in Shopify, you just want to fill them out. Let's say your expedited shipping is just called super fast. You would just put super fast in here so we can match those. Same thing with the other ones, kind of fast, and then local fast. So just name these whatever you have them in your own account. Exclude items without shipping. That just means that we won't import any order that is kind of like a local pickup. So if it's not being shipped, then we won't import that order into Reflector. And then import orders in authorized status. Those are for orders where someone buys something but they haven't yet paid for it. Let's say maybe they're coming to pick it up, or maybe it's like a wholesale thing. If you have this disabled, then we just won't import orders like that. Moving on down to the bottom here, these are the most important settings for Shopify, is setting your default location. These are only important if you have multiple locations. If you only have one, like we do here, you only need to set your default location. But if you have multiple, let's say you have 2 warehouses, you would want to set that up here. So let's say you have a Canadian 3PL. That is your warehouse, and then you can define the location. If there is another option in here, these are just set up in your Shopify account, and they would be set up there. So that's what those are for. And then the final setting down here, do not convert images to JPEG. If you have images on your store that need transparency, you want to make sure you have that setting enabled. And we're going to move on to the final marketplace here. We're going to move on to Etsy. Etsy doesn't have too many unique settings, but these two are the most important. Default shipping template and default return policy. These do need to be set, or no listings can go live for Etsy. You can set these up in your Etsy account, and then we will import them. Essentially, you just create a profile, and then you set up your defaults here. And then that's really it. So those are all the major marketplaces. If you have something specific you have a question about that you want to go over, let's say you have BigCommerce or something and you have questions about it, feel free to open a ticket with our support team. You can do that at the bottom right here by clicking Help, and then it'll open a ticket on your behalf, and you can ask about any setting that you might want to know about. So again, thank you for your interest in our platform, and let us know if you need any further assistance.